You're all doing well and staying safe. Okay, let's see what messages the collective needs to know at this time. Let's see what messages the collective needs to know at this time. It's going to keep this brief. What messages you need to know at this time. I have the Revealing the Truth deck, so let's see what messages, what truths you need to know at this time. Okay, got two cards, but two of them was silent and torment. Okay, so someone's in silent torment or someone's suffering in silence. Okay, let's see. What messages does the collective need to know at this time for the highest and greatest good? Okay, we have noisy sound in the reverse, so someone is no longer distracted. They no longer have things blocking them, interfering with their thinking. They're no longer distracted or have too many like thoughts or ideas or influences around them. They're focused on work. So it could be working on maintaining clarity, mental clarity, gaining some sort of control, because it says information overload, social media, and out of control. So someone may be getting a hold over something. Maybe someone's working on getting control over the distractions. Let's see what else comes out. Okay. Key problem, core of the problem. Oh, key people, core of the problem, and pass. So getting the key. Key is usually answer. So there could be somebody getting an answer. Hi, whoever's watching. Who is this? Let me see. Because I put this. Let me see. Let me see something, because this is supposed to be for... Let's see. Wow. Didn't save the setting that I wanted, but let's see what does the collective mean. So there, some of you, there may be the answer. Someone, okay. So we got the noisy sound in the reverse. That's indicating someone's getting control over something. Someone's gaining control, working on getting control, getting a handle over something, because they realize that's the answer. That's the solution to whatever problem that they're facing. So the noisy sound could be someone could be taking a social media break, no longer allowing external things to influence them. Also, they're also protecting themselves from the type of information that they're receiving, and that they may be sifting through when it comes to making a decision about something. I guess it's being more connected with your intuition and facts and logic, rather than what other people or other people's opinions, because that's how I consider the noisy sound card. Like, you're being distracted by other people. So someone could be working on that. That could be related to work, maybe trying to minimize the types of things that they're that someone is allowing to interfere, distract them from work. Someone is focusing on solutions, focusing on finding answers, finding the solutions to some sort of problem. Maybe someone sees that they need to be very careful what kind of information they consider when solving problems. You know how it is. Sometimes you talk to your friends about certain problems you're having, but then they give you advice and it really doesn't align with you. So you consider whether or not this is something for you. Like, does it work with you? How can you use their advice to your advantage? It doesn't even align with you. Does it even match? Does it go with what you do? Because I know, like, for me, if somebody tries to give me advice about something, I'm like, oh, that's not how I would do it, because it's not natural. And that could be what's going on here too. But I want to know, why is noisy sound in the reverse? I'm going into tarot to clarify. What is the noisy sound in reverse? Why is noisy sound in reverse? Why is noisy sound in reverse? Okay, 10 of Cups. It could be having to do with family issues, or maybe someone's realizing that, okay, because the card does say information overload, social media, out of control. Someone could be having an understanding that maybe social media has in some way negatively impacted them and impacted their happiness, impacted their family, even the type of connections they have with other people. What else? 10 of Cups. Hi. Ace of Cups. Also, this could have to do with, because whenever I think of the Ace of Cups, hi Connie, how are you? The Ace of Cups to me is like self-love. Remember, self-love is the first love. You have to love yourself. And I'm not saying it's narcissistic and selfish. It's about caring about yourself, taking care of yourself. Anyone who says, oh, self-love is, I'm like, they're stupid. They're selfish people that just want to take from you and don't care about your well-being. I'm going to tell you that much, because they have self-love enough to ask you for shit, but if you try to ask somebody for advice, guidance, support, help, or anything, no one's there for you, but you are there for everyone, but then once you start to take care of yourself, then people want to get salty. I don't know why that came up, because I know there are people like that. They love themselves, but they don't want other people loving themselves because they cannot benefit from that. When you love yourself, you care about yourself. People cannot take advantage of you because you're creating boundaries. You're knowing what's good for you, what isn't. You're not overextending yourself. You're not overgiving. You're not sacrificing yourself. You're not making yourself a martyr. So some of you could have been doing that, or you could have that realization with the noisy sound card. You could be having a realization that maybe you've been trying to do things to make other people happy, or you've been or you haven't been feeling happy because of what you see other people have. Like you may be look like, oh my God, everybody's having fun and they have everything they want and I don't, So this is about going within and looking at the things that will bring you fulfillment. What will bring you happiness if you're not in that place right now? So the first thing you have to do is to take away the distractions. Remember, people only post things because it looks good. They post things for clout. They post things for attention. People also post because they have the intention of spreading a message. Some people that want the attention, some people have intention, So you got to be careful of what you're seeing and viewing and not comparing your life to that. Because if you're seeing other people happy and you're not happy, those people could be pretending. Because think about it. People who are truly living their lives, who are happy, you think they're online? Like, look at where I'm going. Look at where I'm at. Look at where I'm wearing. Look what I'm driving. Unless there's people that have struggled and they like to say, look, I came from here. I was driving a whoop-dee, like my car only had 3 tires. And somehow I made it to work. I made it to work with my 3 tires. And the one just had rims, And look where I am now. I have a nice new car. It's like the inspiration. Remember, it's about intention. Now somebody's just like, hey, look at me. Look what I'm wearing. Look at me. What the fuck? Why am I looking at you? What's so special about you? You got titties? Great. Good for you. I got some too. Some guys do too. But you got to stop looking at what somebody has to stop looking at whatever you see it online. I'm like, oh, I wish I had what they had. Yeah, they probably don't even have what they have. It's performative, So think about what you want for yourself. What brings you happiness? Work on that. I'm sorry, I get silly. You see these people, they do things for attention. And I don't like when people are like, you're not doing it for attention. Yeah, but how come you're always pushing the envelope? You just, I'm sorry, I have not been on social media for a while. I stay away from that. And when I do go, I go on a specific account. I have my Artemis Oracle Tarot Instagram account. You can follow me there if you want. I'm not really on it though, but I would like to start. People always telling me I should post more. I should post there, right? But hi, Lion Sky. But I try to be careful what I see because I know certain things can trigger me. But I think the thing that triggers me most is that people don't realize that they're doing things for a certain reason and they're lying. They're lying to themselves and they're lying to the people that watch them. And what I was going to say was sometimes if you're not doing it for attention, then why are you trying to push the envelope? Because if you see certain content that's being presented or uploaded, some of the people are pushing the envelope. It's basically people are almost naked. What's the whole point of being naked on the internet? Are you trying to start a freaking sex work career? I mean, you're already doing that, doing that on Instagram and TikTok and shit. You're already getting your sex worker you know, credits, you know, what do you call it? Like, what they call it, you get your continuing education credits, but they're getting their credits on social media. They're already establishing themselves. Look at me. I'm the girl that's almost showing my nipples. You know? I don't know. Like, I just had this weird conversation with my son. Oh, actually with a friend. A friend. My friend who's he's younger than me. He's like my son's age. But he was talking about how certain people, they like, especially young girls. I'm like, I'm so glad I don't have a daughter, because my daughter would not do that, because she'll be looking at those girls like they're crazy. Like, you're gonna end up in a milk carton doing that, you know? And then the thing is too, I don't think people, I don't know why I'm on this tangent. I'm gonna say what I have to say. I'm gonna say, I don't know why I felt like saying this, but I think young girls don't realize that you're already setting the stage of how people are going to treat you. If you're acting that way, in a sexual way, putting yourself in that way, all you're doing is devaluing who you are as a person, and minimizing yourself to just an object. You know, you're taking away your self-respect, your dignity, because who is going to respect someone who is doing that? In reality, let's think about it. I think, you know, in reality, what's the whole point of all that stuff? You know, that those postings and everything, you know, they do it for clout, they do it for money. And it's funny, we got this work card, you know, card over here, the work card. I don't know, I feel like they don't realize the repercussions, the future repercussions. Most of the people who end up in the sex work industry, they end up addicts. They end up doing things that they wouldn't even do if they were sober. You know, they had to drink themselves to oblivion in order to do what they may be asked to do, you know, and God knows if they're even forced, if they have to put themselves in. And I don't think the girls realize, they just see the money, they see the attention, and they think that's all it is, but they're doing damage to not only their mental and emotional health, and even their physical health, because they're exposing themselves to things. And even the guys, I know guys do this too, but I'm talking about girls for some reason, because I'm a woman, but I don't think men get as much flack for that the way women do. And yeah, that's unfair, you know, the inequality in that. But the thing is, it's like, you don't have respect for yourself, you know? So I don't think people realize that, you know, you think you do, you say you do, but really if you value yourself, you wouldn't be exposing yourself to those types of people, those types of substances, and even that type of treatment. You will have boundaries. You will be protecting yourself, preserving yourself. And I'm not talking about virginity and that stuff. I'm just talking about like not being so available, because we know how people who are overly available get taken advantage of, you know, and we know overgivers, people who are overly generous, people who are people pleasing, you know. I'm not talking about virginity or purity in that sense. I'm talking about protecting yourself, your energy, because our energy is very, very valuable, you know. Anyway, so let me get off my soapbox with that. Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And it's like you put yourself on the line just to, but I don't know why I went on that, because sometimes I don't know why I went on that tangent. It sounds very judgmental, but I think that people don't realize the damage that they do to themselves, and they're in denial of that, because they're thinking, oh yeah, but look, you're probably jealous because I can do this. I could fucking do porn if I wanted to. I don't want to, you know. I could do everybody can, you know. There's so many kinks out there. There are people who like stretch marks. There are people who like saggy titties, you know. There are people who like saggy asses, and you know, there are people who like that stuff, you know. There's people like weird stuff. So there's a kink for everything, you know what I mean? So it's not about jealousy. So if anybody says that, it's not about jealousy, because anybody could do it. Anybody. A super fat chick, super fat guy, or a super skinny or super skinny girl or guy, you know, anybody could do it. You know, you got the main parts that are needed, right? So that's all that matters. You just got to find your niche, your audience, you know? So it's not about jealousy. If anybody thinks that. Sadly, I am too aware of these things. Sadly, a lot of us are. Some things we should not know. Some things we shouldn't even care about. Anyway, I'm going to go back to this. Exactly, with the Dollar Tree budget. You know, I'm thinking now, like somebody has a car. They're like, look at this new car. And it's just like, imagine it, they just like really zoomed in and it's really a toy car. And they make it look like it's a big car. Because you know how you can make things look smaller and bigger based on the angles. So, like, look at the car I got. It's a Matchbox car. Remember Lord of the Rings with the hobbits and stuff, how they use the angles to make the people look taller when other people look smaller and stuff. That's CGI, AI, all that stuff. Okay, the word card we have here is labor, earning money, livelihood. Okay, so we have the Four of Pentacles. That's indicating someone's either in the comfort zone or they're in the tight financial constraints. And they're like being very stingy. Like I like he's holding these $4 like these $4. So someone but the Knight of Wands though, I don't know if somebody is, I want to clarify the Knight of Wands because the Knight of Wands is someone who tends to be very action oriented, goes after their passions, but maybe they feel like they don't have enough money to work. They're either working. Okay. I think somebody's working because I think someone's very much focused on their finances because they may be experiencing financial constraints, limitations, and they're doing everything they can. But I feel like there's going to be some sort of victory. So however that resonates with you. If some of you are working and you've been experiencing low funds, some of you may consider doing things that you're passionate about because, you know, they say if you do what you love, you never work a day of your life. So some of you may need to look at what ways you can monetize your passions, you know. Maybe some of you want to go OnlyFans. You know, thank you for the sparkles and thank you for the stars. But yeah, like consider what your passion is. Like, do you have a talent, a skill? Is there something that you really care about? Think about in what ways you can make money. It could be like a side hustle because maybe you are working, you have a full-time job or many jobs. And it sucks that people have to have many jobs. Hi, JG, how are you? I'm not doing any personal readings, no free personal readings. No personal readings and no free personal readings. The Four of Pentacles with the Knight of Wands, Six of Wands. I feel like just maybe money could be a motivating factor for doing something. However, you should always make sure that you're putting your time and your energy towards the things that you love, the things that you want to grow, that you want to see prosper for yourself. Something that could ultimately lead you to some sort of success, whether it's financial or even with recognition, you know. But there could be something going on with work too that you may be triumphant with. Yeah, there could be some new offer coming in with the Page of Pentacles. There could be a new job offer, a new opportunity to make money. Just make sure it's something that aligns with you and it's something that you're passionate about. Even if it's sex work. I just brought that up because I think these girls don't realize what they're doing to themselves in the long haul, you know? Because you see, there are people who were in that industry that do end up leaving the industry and doing things, but the thing is, that's still part of their history. You know, you can't run away from your past, you know. Your past is part of your history. So you're going to have to accept it and move on. And okay, now, what is the key people, core to the problem and past? Key. What is the key? The key is either the solution, it's the answers that you've been looking for. What else? Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who is financially abundant, secure, grounded, nurtures what she loves. She is I already said abundant, but also wealthy. So some of you could either resonate with being the Queen of Pentacles. Some of you may be needing to nurture yourself, nurture anything that you want to grow, but also nurture your environment. Take care of your home. Because the Queen of Pentacles is the one that lives the life of luxury, you know. Temperance card, okay? This is about some sort of balance that you need to have. You know, head and heart, balance with the head and heart. But I don't really know what this is. What's the key? What's the answer? What's this? Temperance is about alchemy, balance, reconciliation, healing, patience. We got the Nine of Cups, which is reaching a level of emotional fulfillment, being content where you are in your life with what you have in your life. But I want to know what's the key for some of you if you are, because I'm thinking about the Queen of Pentacles, and I was talking about maybe some of you need to work on your self-worth, how you value yourself, maybe how you're balancing your resources and your time, where you still are able to maintain work-life balance, make sure you're having fun, but also make sure that you're taking care of your home, your responsibilities, your financial responsibilities too. But I need more information. Why is the key card here? Tell me more about, all right, this, tell me more about this Ace of Wands. Some of you could be inspired by something. Your passion may be ignited about something, and it could be tied up to the work thing, especially with Wheel of Fortune, yeah. Some of you are thinking about what ways you can make changes in your life. Or some of you, there could be some sort of inspiration that's coming towards you that's going to bring change. It's going to bring in that balance that's going to allow you to be in a happy emotional space, but also feel abundant. And it could be tied to this Page of Pentacles, which is that new job opportunity, a new offer coming in. Or it could be you starting something new. Because the Page of Pentacles is a young energy. It's someone who is in the process of growing and building something. And what you could grow and build is your knowledge, your understanding, your skills, even investments. But also your time, your energy is also Pentacle energy. The Lover, something that aligns with you. Some of you have to make some sort of choice. But why is the Lovers here? What's the choice that the collective needs to make? There's something that you're conflicted about. Queen of Wands, Seven of Pentacles. I don't know if the Queen of Pentacles or the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles or the Queen of Wands are people that are going to be who are a source of inspiration towards you, because there's something that you're conflicted about. And it may be tied, the conflict could be coming from your confidence, because the Queen of Wands is someone who's confident, who's attractive, right? But in the shadow aspect, she could be someone who's jealous, insecure. But I feel like some of you could be considering, hi Teresa. Some of you could be considering in what ways you're gonna, what have you invested in? You're assessing your value. You're assessing what you value. You're assessing what you put your time and energy into, and evaluating what will inspire you, or in what ways you can improve your confidence, in what ways you can allow yourself to shine, to build up your confidence so that you can be seen. Get that Six of Wands, get that recognition that you're hoping for. So I feel like that's the choice. You have a choice. The choice is, you have to evaluate something to decide if it's something that you could keep continuing putting effort towards. Like someone, like a tarot reader says, Chris from Middle Pond Tarot, he says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, so whatever you've been putting your effort towards, are you liking the results? Are you wanting to continue to build upon those results? Or do you want to start over? Or is there something that you feel like you have to change because there may be a little bit of stuckness, like you've reached like a plateau with something, and now maybe you're needing to be inspired by something. You may be having to look into, you're going to have to be creative, I think that could be the conflict. There may be stagnancy that you're experiencing, and you're going to have to look for creative solutions to help get past that stagnancy. And that could be where the choice is coming from. Now, for some of you, it could be a love situation, but I don't think so. I'm not getting love from this at all. Yeah, some of you may be like having to decide whether you want to start from scratch with something or change your perspective. But also some of you may be wanting to take a leap of faith, if it's not something you're already doing. I got the Death card and Three of Wands. See, some of you may be wanting to end something with the Fool. The Fool, it's like basically after the The World card, that's like a completion of a cycle. So some of you may have completed something, completed a project or something, and now you're looking for the next thing. Or you may be questioning if something should be closed out so that you can start over. The Death card is indicating that. So some of you may be needing to end something, or maybe you're wanting to restart something, and you're coming in with that full energy where you have a change of perspective, and you are not, you have your experience, but you want to do things a little bit different, but do things a little bit different in the future. With the Three of Wands, it's that futuristic energy, it's the expansion energy. Maybe everything all the experience you have from closing out something, because this leading back to the restart, when you close something out, you're going to start something new. And if it is something that you're wanting to revive, resurrect, or it's something completely new, you're thinking, you have to consider, like, what is the best thing for me to do? What's the best choice for me to make? What do I see or envision for myself in the future? Yeah, it's about balance, weighing the pros and cons, also going with the flow, because that's what the Two of Pentacles is all about. And it's like Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, with the Page of Pentacles, that new offer, new opportunity, or starting something new, building something from scratch, investing in something from scratch. But don't overthink it, because that could be what's going on. That could be where I talked about the plateau, Sometimes you have to go with not only with your thoughts, but also follow your heart. What aligns with your heart, and then you can manifest from that space. Manifest the abundance, the success, the recognition, even the offer, because it's hard to manifest something if you don't know exactly what it is you want. So some of you you may be at that place too where you don't know what you want. So it's hard to, how can I manifest if I don't know what my wish is? If I don't know what it is I want, then how can I manifest? And that's true. How can you really manifest something if you don't know what it is that you want? So some of you may be needing to go hermit and reflect on that. Take time to yourself so that you can, figure out what it is that you want to do before you actually take or implement any action, or even try to manifest something for yourself. But I think it's a matter of assessing where you are right now, thinking about being future forward, and thinking about what it is where you want to be, and then you evaluate, okay, how do I get there? And that's where the Fool comes in. It's about changing perspective. Also, the Hangman too is looking at things from a different perspective, looking at things from a different angle. I know we didn't get that card, but that's what it's reminding me of right now. And once you get a hold or idea of what it is you want, that's when you could start setting the wheel of fortune in motion. And you could bring in that abundance. You could bring in that happiness, that place of being satisfied, And remember, when you are manifesting, you're trying to bring something to fruition, whether it's with manifestation. Some people don't believe in that. And it's usually because they don't know how to do it. That's why. The first thing about manifestation is believing you can manifest. Okay. And then knowing how to manifest. And it's not only with your thoughts and your actions, but it's also with your vibration, your emotions, how you feel, and how connected you are to what it is that you're wanting to manifest for yourself, right? If you don't feel emotionally connected to it, then how can you actually bring it to fruition? I say read the Secret. I know people get a little weird about the health part, but I feel like if you want to go to the doctor, you need to go to the doctor, then you get the necessary medical treatments that you need, But when it comes to outside of that, it's all about your mindset. It's also about where your heart is, So I'm going to end this reading right now. I'm going to be on later today within the next few hours. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for possibly subscribing if you did subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you all later. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the jewels. I really appreciate your recognition, your appreciation, and your presence. It really does have value to me. I will look forward to seeing you guys later on today. Take care, everyone. Bye. And if I don't see you, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye, everyone.